All right, you hold on. Right, please have a seat.
What a pleasure today to welcome Premier Argaruk to Ottawa. It's an opportunity, PJ, to congratulate you in person for becoming Premier of Nunavut. It's really exciting. The Premier and I have worked for many years together on issues related to the North. Your leadership going forward is going to be a real opportunity for us to deepen our cooperation and serve the people of Nunavut and the people of Canada. So I'm very excited about it. Je suis très content d'accueillir le Premier ministre du Nunavut ici à Ottawa pour des rencontres sur les grands enjeux auxquels on fait face. We'll be talking about housing, we'll be talking about water, we'll be talking about reconciliation, we'll be talking about infrastructure, we'll be talking about climate change, we'll be talking about elders, we'll be talking about all the things that matter to your community.
No, it's an honor just to see you in person as well, so I think there's some priority areas we've worked on in the past that really brought results in terms of the issues that are important to us, so I very much look forward to our conversation today.
Thank you, PJ. Merci tout le monde.
Hello, everyone. It was a very productive meeting with the Prime Minister to talk about key areas that matter to Nunavummiut. It was very important that I have a discussion directly with the Prime Minister on a mandate that I was given by full caucus. And as a consensus government in Nunavut, the mandate came from every member, which was historic in terms of allowing every MLA to participate as well in terms of the mandate development. So with that, housing is something that's been underpinning Nunavummiut for decades, and it was very important that I had a really frank discussion with the Prime Minister to share that being a priority for Nunavummiut, and that's at a lot of the root issues that we do see. So that's something I shared with the Prime Minister specifically, but also our priority, including elders. Elders as an Inuit society and within Nunavut is something that's very important to us, and many of the elders that we do see are actually outside of the territory. So as a full caucus, it was very important that we do a comprehensive strategy to bring back the elders that are outside of territory who are receiving care. But also moving forward, obviously mental health is something that's very important to Nunavummiut. We very much look forward to addressing a lot of the issues that we do see with the highest suicide rate that we see, but providing tangible solutions in terms of what we're able to do to tackle the crisis that we do see. But also how we as a territory could diversify our economy. So with the five themes that the full caucus came out, and it was very historic in the sense that we brought in the land claims organizations as well to develop the mandate that's going to guide us for the next 4 years. So if there's any questions.
Did you make any specific requests of the federal government, of the Prime Minister, specific actions that you want to see Ottawa help you with?
Oh, absolutely. Early childhood education is obviously of significance, and education is an important theme. So we really do see an opportunity where we could see an alignment in terms of what we're able to do on the early childhood discussion. So I had indicated to the Prime Minister I very much look forward to working with him in terms of coming to an agreement on that. On the housing front, I think that's something that's been around for many decades in terms of the infrastructure gap we've seen and the issues that we see, the highest tuberculosis rates, the highest suicide rates that we see. And all at that is the root is the housing crisis that we do see. So I did indicate to the Prime Minister that I very much look forward to working with him in terms of providing tangible solutions to that. So in the new year, as we establish and as our mandate gets guides us into the new year, I hope the conversation continues with the Prime Minister and obviously key ministers that are responsible, whether it's Minister Hussein or Minister LeBlanc specifically as well.
I know that the Prime Minister says he's going to be speaking to the premiers about Omicron and about what further measures need to be taken to combat this new variant. Did you discuss that? And I guess, what are your concerns about this variant?
No, we'll be discussing that later today when we meet with the Prime Minister. So we didn't have a discussion specifically on that.
Is it a concern in the territory at this point? It seems to be a concern in a lot of other places in Canada. What are your concerns about this new variant?
Oh, absolutely. It's obviously the variant is something that, with the lack of infrastructure we do see across the north, not just in Nunavut. Obviously, the concerns there, and very much look forward to the discussion with the Prime Minister later on today.
And can I just ask, you've met with the Prime Minister, you're going to be down here for a little while, I think. What else is on your agenda? What else are you hoping to achieve during your time in Ottawa?
It's opening the doors and having discussions with key ministers. So discussions with Minister Vandel we had earlier, Minister Miller as well later on this week, but also Minister LeBlanc. So it's having these open dialogue and open discussions with key ministers that hold obviously files that are important to the territory of Nunavut. With the mandate that just came out, there's obviously key areas where we see an alignment of where we could put our energy to. So the initial discussions we're having is to have these frank discussions of where could we actually make an impact in terms of areas that are of interest to both parties.
Do you want to answer the question? Go ahead.
You mentioned the child care premier. Do you have a sense of what that deal might look like? Do you have a sense of what you would want out of that deal?
Yeah, and so obviously early childhood is at the core in terms of what's important to us. It's investing in our children. So I obviously can't comment in terms of what that deal might look like. So that's something I think that I really see an opportunity where there's a lot of alignment in terms of wanting to provide resources to our children in terms of knowing who they are and where they come from when it really ties into the identity. But also the parental subsidies being one as well. Right across the territory with 25 communities, daycares play such a critical role. So we see that as an opportunity to make investments that matter, and it really starts at early childhood.
It's my understanding Iqaluit has asked the federal government for $180 million to fix its long-term water supply issues. What kind of conversations have you had with the federal government about this? And will you be trying to secure that money?
Yeah, that's something that the Prime Minister and I did reference as well in terms of the crisis that we do see in Iqaluit. It was very important, and we were all relieved in terms of the do not consume was lifted just the other day. But it's something that's always of importance in terms of the urgency. We very much look forward to working with Mayor Bell in terms of addressing the municipal issue that's there. And that's something that goes right across the territory. There's a few water boil advisories that are in some communities, but the Iqaluit one is something that will work diligently with the minister responsible for community and government services as well.
You mentioned the mandate a few times. Were there discussions about issues specific to that you were talking to the Prime Minister about?
Yeah, the housing one. Yeah, it really boils down to housing has been something, and let's be honest, it's right now just to bring the infrastructure gap. We require 3,500 units in terms of making available to alleviate just to this point. So I think it's the urgency that's there, but also our ability to put our equity into the issue as well. So with that, I really think housing is one I'm hoping to work directly with the Prime Minister as we move forward.
Just, if I could ask one more question. The federal government in its economic statement today is supposed to be talking about putting a $40 billion into the child welfare system. Did you discuss any of that? Is that an important issue? I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, it's obviously very important, but I haven't seen the fiscal update yet, so I very much look forward to...
Mr. Miller was talking pretty openly about it yesterday. He wasn't giving a lot of detail, but he did talk about that $40 billion figure, and I'm wondering how important that is.
Well, it's very important, so I very much look forward to seeing what the details of that and seeing where we could work together.
According to a recent report from the Nunavut Housing Corporation, there are 3,500 families in Nunavut in need of housing. You've said yourself that the territory needs innovative solutions, and I know you sort of have touched on the fact that you and the Prime Minister have discussed that, but do you have any sort of specific sense of how you'd want to move forward on that file?
Absolutely. It's the unified voice that we are bringing to the table right now. So we understand there are 3,500 units just needed just to get to this point in terms of addressing the infrastructure gap that we do see. And that's in the range of $2 billion in terms of the costs just to build the 3,500 units. So with that in mind, we've obviously very much look forward to working with the Inuit organizations, in this case, Nunavut Tungavik Incorporated, along with us as a territorial government, to put solutions on that table. Something, obviously, I'll have to work with the members in the legislature in terms of what those solutions will look like. But I very much look forward to working, bringing tangible impact in terms of what we know being the issue. And yeah, very look forward to addressing the housing crisis that we've seen cripple the North for many years.
Just one more question. Thank you so much, Premier. Young people in Nunavut are calling on Nunavut and Canada to step in with more mental health support among an ongoing suicide crisis, which I know you mentioned in the territory. What are you going to ask for from the federal government to address that crisis?
Yeah, that's a very powerful statement. So obviously, when we were running for the Leadership Forum, there's a march that actually happened where the high school marched right into the legislature, and that has been something that resonated with me to this point. And that's something I mentioned to the Prime Minister as well in terms of the calling the youth are asking for action, specifically to mental health. And I think we all understand housing is at the root of it in terms of the issues that we do see. And obviously programming and services that are culturally relevant are at the heart of it. But a lot of the issues that we are talking about go right to the root of housing. The overcrowded housing impacts the child of not going to school. And so everything we've talked about goes right to housing, and that's something, if we want to deal with the root issue, and that is something we'll have to tackle, housing specifically, that would alleviate a lot of the issues that we do see and that we do know. So with that, I very much look forward to, in the next 4 years, bringing tangible issues forward in terms of making available resources that are culturally relevant and accessible right across the territory, with Nunavut being vast, with 25 communities stretched over 3 time zones. It's something that we're very cognizant, so that's something that will ensure that we deliver upon. Okay, thank you so much.